Good morning, good morning, good morning. For this is the day that the Lord has made. I am rejoicing and I am so glad in it. I hope that you are excited about the word of the Lord on this morning. If you have not, I see many of you already have started, but if you have not, I need you to tag at least, let's do 10 people. Tag 10 people and say, you know what? The Spirit of the Lord is speaking. You need to hear what he's saying this morning. The Spirit of the Lord is speaking. You need to hear what he is saying this morning. I am so excited about this week of fasting and consecration. You all know today is Wednesday. We've been fasting all week. But for me on Wednesday, it is absolute fasting. And I get so excited because I was telling, someone was asking me, well, how's the fast going? And I said, so since this month came in, my team and I, we have been fasting every single Wednesday. But listen, oh God, I love you. When I tell you about the miracles, when I tell you about the Sandadabasho, when I tell you about Shita Nerabosoko, when I tell you about the wonders and the miracles that are taking place because of this fast in this season, y'all, listen, if you have not jumped in on the fasting with us and the consecration, you need to get in. Listen, because I think every day I'm crying about somebody's testimony. Every day I'm like, oh Lord. And the Lord is just, and I'll just speak for myself because I don't want to give anybody else testimony. For me, in this season of fasting, it's not all financial blessings. It's not all tangible things, but this fast is producing spiritual. Okay. Y'all. I said Friday night, I don't even know. I do not know what's going to happen Friday, but I'm going to tell you, and I know y'all say, she say it all the time. This ain't one of me. But this is about to be one. God going to do something totally different. It's like I can sense it. It's like I can, and it's like I keep saying, okay, Daddy, what is it? Like, what you going to do? Like, it's almost like I'm nervous. And my daughter's already tell you every Friday night, because people don't believe this. They say, because you walk in with such authority and such power. When I tell you I'm about to pass out every Friday before I ever grab a mic, it'd be like, I'm just give me the mic. I get very anxious because I know that God is about to say something. God is about to say something, but I don't really always know what he's going to say. It's just know that I avail myself to him. This is why I fast and consecrate. Anytime I know I'm going to speak, I fast and consecrate because I believe in emptying out so God can fill me up with whatever his people need. And so this Friday is like, I feel a travailing, I feel a wailing, I feel a pouring out. It's just like all this, it's just like so much. I can't put it into words, but what I can tell you is this not the one to miss. This one is about going somewhere spiritually. Listen, this is about God breaking something in you that needs to be broken. And so I'm excited about what he's going to do on Friday night, but I am excited about the fast on this week, this month, that the team and I are doing. And God is just, when I tell you mind blowing stuff, it's like I'm fasting and I'm consecrating. And it's like prayers that I prayed years ago, I'm sitting back watching them manifest now. And it's like things I've been praying for certain people that they don't even know I'm praying. And I'm sitting back watching them unfold. And I'm just like, God, what in the world? It's almost like he said, what else you need me to do? What else you need me to do? Well, is there anybody else that God, when I say, y'all, God is pouring. Can y'all just drop this in the chat for me? God is pouring out in this season, but you got to be in position. Okay, y'all. Oh, God. You got to be in position to receive it. He's pouring out. Are you in position to receive it? Have you done everything that God told you? Because I don't know who this is for, but it's somebody on here this morning. You mad at God. Yep, I said it. I said, because I just picked it up when I started talking about the pouring out, I picked up somebody's whole spirit and they're angry with God. Can I help you this morning real quick? I know if this ain't for y'all, just hold on. I'm coming down your street in a minute because something on me this morning. Listen, you mad at God because he didn't do what you wanted him to do. But can I help you this morning? You can be mad, but God's still gonna be God. And God's plans and his purposes, they gonna prevail. So you know you being mad at God don't change nothing. Ooh, yeah, I said it. You're being mad at God does not change anything with God. God didn't change the okay. God didn't change the situation because he needed to change you. Okay. I'm gonna just go back to what. Can I just share with you? If that was for you, just look, don't even put in the chat that was for me. Because if you say that, if you put in the chat that was for me, and you shame to say that you was mad at God, because we all been there. We all been there. I done been there. I feel like it wasn't right. I did everything you told me to do, and this is what I get. And you know what God had to tell me? He said, yeah, because I'm trying to get something to you. And I was not going to change that I'm not shit. Okay. He says, daughter, I was not going to change you. I was not going to change the situation. I needed to change you. I need you to elevate and come on up because of the assignment that's on your life. I don't know this one. Because of the assignment on your life. God is not changing the situation. He's not getting you out of the situation. He said, I'm going to change you while you yet there in it. Okay. I'm going. This morning when I was in my devotion, I love y'all. I promise y'all, I do not just come off a little strong sometimes. But listen, we have to realize sometimes that we need to grow up. We need to grow up because we get mad at God. Well, how you going to be mad at somebody? Let's do a station identification. How are you going to be mad at somebody who holds the whole world in his hand? Who can you dead? Who can suck the very breath out of you? How you mad? You real big time to be mad at God. Like, are you for real? The one who can suck the very breath out of your body, you mad at him? The Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end, the King of Kings, the Lord, the one who know the very hairs on your head, and you mad? Him? How dare you? It ought to be some repenting going on today. How dare you? When he is the very breath that you breathe, how dare you? He is the very breath that you breathe. You got some nerve to be mad at God. Now I may say, God, I don't understand. I don't like how that worked out. I don't understand it. Listen, be careful. Tread light. When you're dealing with the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords, who got you're dealing with when they got the king's heart in his hand. He got your boss heart in his hand. He got your spouse heart in his hand. And you mad at him? Oh boy. Okay, let me get into this. If that bless you, if that help you kind of get right, just say they help me get right this morning, doctor. You know what? Let me go ahead. Because sometimes we have to get ourselves together. I done been there. I remember when I was going through my divorce, I was like, no, this ain't right. I know that I'm on Proverbs 31. Raised the right way. Like I know. Like I did everything. I like this ain't. And you know what God told me? I ain't fixing that. I ain't fixing it. How long you plan on being mad? Because this is how God talks to me. How long you plan on being mad? How long you plan on walking around with an attitude and can't stand? Because I went through this. Walk around with an attitude, can't couldn't stand to see a family together. So I couldn't go in church because I didn't want to see y'all worship together. Because when I saw that, I had a whole attitude because that's what I tried to do. And it ain't even work. And God, he said, you done. Because when you, I'm going to help y'all. I don't know who this is for, but y'all pulling this morning. Watch this. Because as long as you're mad at God, watch this, you're not growing anymore. Watch this. You're stagnated. Watch this. You're not moving. Watch this. You're getting behind schedule because you're mad. How long you going to stay mad? Because did y'all know this? Have y'all ever thought about this? When you're mad at something, does that change the situation? Nope. It don't change the situation because you're mad at it. Because you're mad did not change it. The bigger question for me was, okay, God, why did you allow this? What are you trying to show me in this? And if you're not going to get me out of it, then you got to fix me to be able to stand while I'm yet in it. Okay. See? But we want to fix it. Get me out, get me in, take me out. What's the lesson I'm supposed to be learning right here? Because I know I wasn't perfect, God. So what is it about me, Elizabeth, that wasn't right? You can't always blame the other person because ain't none of us perfect. So trust me, you had something to do with it. But let me get into it, because that's, y'all, I promise y'all that's not what we're talking about faith this week. We're talking about faith this week. And I was coming to encourage you. I came to encourage. I just need you to get, I need us to get right. And the reason why I keep saying I need us to get right is because of what God is showing me spiritually. When I lay down and I think I'm asleep, what he's showing me spiritually about the state of the world and the state of the church. And he keeps saying, they doubt my power. And when God keeps saying, I'm going to show them who I am, it's like, ooh. You know, it's kind of like if you, okay, like, how can I put this? If you know somebody that is all that in a bag of chips, like, you know, man, they got it going on, everything about them is right. They all this, and you just want the world to see that. Because the world been talking about them, and you like, you don't know. You don't know them like I do. That's how I feel. And so a lot of times I'm sitting and I'm like, Lord, why they don't want my Jesus? What? I mean, who wouldn't serve a God like this? Is what I'm constantly saying. Who wouldn't serve a God like this? How dare you doubt him? How dare you say he can't? How dare you say his arm too short that it can't save? How dare you say he can't heal, he can't deliver, he can't set free? How dare you? God, I'm waiting you to show the world who you are, because they believe it in everything but you. And I know who you are, y'all. So I'm sitting back like somebody passed me the popcorn, because it's about to be on and popping. It's like you've been invited to a movie and you already know everybody told you this movie about to be good. So you're like, get the pop. Y'all know anybody goes movies with me know I got to get me a large popcorn and a large cherry icy. And I'm sitting there watching, because baby, this movie right there, how this about to play out, about to be real good. This about to get a Grammy. This about to get an Oscar. This about to get all them awards. This right here, how God is about to show himself. He gonna show the world who he is. And I'm waiting for it. I'm waiting for it, because I cannot wait to say, I told you about the God I serve. Y'all thought I was crazy. Y'all were calling me Jesus Jr. And she too deep. And she always fasting. And she always now you about to see why. Is there anybody else that feel like that? Drop in the chat. God showed them who you are. Oh, Lord have mercy. God show them who you are. Because we've been trying to tell you. We've been trying to witness. We've been trying to prophesy. We've been trying to preach it. We've been trying to teach it. And the world don't believe in our Jesus. I'm sitting back waiting. God, show them who you are. Let me get into, because you know what? We 15 minutes in and I ain't even touched what I'm going to talk about today. So listen, I was in my devotion this morning. I was in my devotion. And for some reason, I started thinking about the woman with the issue of blood. And I was saying, woman had it with the issue of blood. And I was thinking about how Jesus was walking through and all the people was following him to get to a location so that he could lay hands and heal them. Watch this. God gave me this revelation. I'll tell you, I almost lost it this morning. So all the people following Jesus, we read the story in the book of Matthew. It's one of in the Gospels. You can read it, each one. And the people were following Jesus because Jesus they had already known about him healing people. So the people were following Jesus, hoping that at some point he would stop and he would lay hands and they would be healed. Right? Everybody know the story. Say, I know it, Dr. Bree. Okay. So they were following Jesus, waiting for him to lay hands or touch them so that they could be healed. What y'all, this about to bless y'all. This is about to bless y'all. But there was this woman who had an issue of blood, who was considered unclean, so she couldn't be around the people. So she was kind of sneaking. Y'all, watch this. So the woman with the issue of blood couldn't just get in there with everybody else. So she made Yamadoshika. Listen, so she made up in her mind. Oh God. Okay, I'm trying, y'all. I'm trying. She made up in her mind. I ain't gotta wait. Oh God. Oh, Jesus, help me. I don't have to wait for him to get to a point where he can stop and lay hands. I can't do that. So my faith, so my faith tells me that when he passed by, I'm just going to touch the hem of his garment. My faith is telling me that if I touch the hem, I'm going to be healed. He ain't got to lay hands. He ain't got to touch me. And when I touch the hem, I'm going to be healed. Her faith, God, oh God, her faith calls her. Who is this for this morning? Her faith calls her to move outside of the norm. Jesus. Her faith, oh God. See, sometimes when your faith gets so strong in God, it make you do some crazy stuff. Is it anybody there? Your faith will make you so ridiculous. See, what? Your faith will make you drive 5 miles, 10 miles, 20 miles, 30 miles to get to a service. Your faith will make you do some unusual stuff. So why everybody else, listen, so why everybody else was waiting for Jesus to stop and lay hands, she said, I ain't got to do that. My faith tells me that if I can just touch the hem of his garment, I'm going to be healed. Jesus. Who is this for? Sometimes your faith will have you to move outside of the norm. Sometimes your faith will tell you, don't do it the way everybody, who is this for? Don't do it the way everybody else is doing it. Sometimes your faith, and it's that crazy faith that God loves. I ain't got to do it like everybody else doing it. Oh, God, I feel this morning. I ain't got to do it. Watch this. I don't have to do it the way everybody else doing it. I'm going to do it the way my spirit is telling me to do it. My spirit telling me, don't get in the crowd. Just when he pass by, grab what you can. Listen, and then I started studying. I said, wait a minute. Because all the rest of these occasions before now, Jesus was laying hands. He was like literally touching and praying for the people. But in this one, Jesus didn't do nothing. He was passing by. Oh my God. See, y'all, Friday night, listen, he was passing by. And she said, she reached out and touched his garment. And so I started looking and I figured out this was the first incident, listen, of somebody actually, Jesus didn't touch them, they touched him. Y'all, crazy faith. I make you do some crazy stuff. When you just know that you know, as long as Jesus passing by and I can touch him, I shall be healed. And she was. In fact, her faith, watch this, her faith was so strong that when she touched Jesus, he said, I felt the virtue go out my body. Her faith, her faith caused Jesus to feel something. Is your faith? When is the last time your faith moved God? Okay, let me get it, y'all. I can tell. Hold on, let me get to this because I got to finish up talking about these people of faith in Hebrews. But when is the last time, oh God, that your faith moved God? Jesus, when is the last time you stepped out on crazy faith? Can y'all just drop that in the chat? Crazy faith, crazy faith, crazy faith, crazy. Crazy faith is this. God, I dreamed something. You showed it to me. The prophet told me. You told me. It sounds crazy. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'm just going to step on out there and do it. Crazy faith. Who is this for? Because you're waiting on it to make sense. You're waiting for it to make sense to you. Faith don't make sense. Remember, faith is believing in the unseen. Faith is the Spirit spoke, I believe. Okay, faith is I gotta see it before I see it, or I never will seize it. Faith is okay, but you're waiting on it to make sense. Listen, let's get into this now faith. Now faith. We on day 3. Now faith. I'm gonna get if I stay there, we ain't gonna get too much further today. Watch this. Now faith. If that bless you, say, Dr. Lord, have mercy, that bless me, that bless me, that bless me. That because when I get the rocket, y'all know it's good to me then. So it blessed me. So listen, let's get into this. Hebrews 11. And yesterday I did 1 through 16. I think so. Today I'm going to do 17 through 30. But our main scripture is, now faith. Y'all just going to drop that in the chat. Now faith. Now faith. Oh, and when you sow, and somebody pin this at the end for me. When you sow, I hear your Holy Spirit, tag it crazy faith. If you choose to sow. I'm not saying if you choose to sow. Let me correct that. If you choose to sow, I want you to tag that crazy faith. Crazy faith. Okay, listen to this. Hebrews 11, 1 through 2 is our main scripture. Now faith is the confidence in what we hope for and assurance of what we do not see. Listen, then it gets into, this is what the ancients were commended for. So we're going to start with Abraham today. Jump down to Hebrews 11, jump down to verse 17 through 30. 31. We're going because I got to talk about this one. 31. So I'm gonna read fast and I'm gonna jump into all the patriarchs of faith. Watch this. So 17. By faith, Abraham, when God tested him, remember we talked about this earlier, that God tests, Satan tempts. You need to know the difference. Whenever God tests you, he's trying to get something to you. But when Satan tempts you, his objective is so that you will fall. So it says, 17, by faith, Abraham, when God tested him, offered Isaac as a sacrifice. He who had embraced the promises was about to sacrifice his one and his only son. Verse 18, even though God had told him, it is through Isaac that your offspring will be reckoned. Huh? Wait a minute, God. You prophesied to me. And I know I heard you right when you said it was through Isaac. Now you telling me to go sacrifice Isaac? What are you doing? Listen. Watch this. This is going to bless y'all today. So it says, verse 18, even though God said to him, it is through Isaac that your offspring will be reckoned. Verse 19, Abraham reasoned, listen to this, that God could even raise the dead. And so in a manner of speaking, he did receive Isaac back from death. Verse 20, by faith, Isaac blessed Jacob and Esau in regard to their future. Verse 21, by faith, Jacob, when he was dying, blessed each of Joseph's sons and worshiped as he leaned. I'm going to get into all this later. As he leaned on top of his staff. Verse 22, by faith, Joseph, when his end was near, spoke about the exodus of the Israelites from Egypt and gave instructions concerning the bearer of his bones. Verse 23, by faith, Moses, listen to all these people. By faith, Moses' parents hid him for 3 months after he was born. 24, by faith, Moses, when he was grown, when he had grown up, he refused to be known as the son of Pharaoh's daughter. Verse, let me get down. I'm going to skip. So that's all about Moses. 26 is Moses. 27 is Moses. 28 is Moses. 29 is Moses. Okay, verse 30, down to 30. By faith, the walls of Jericho fell. Okay. Okay, Jesus. By faith, the walls of Jericho fell after the army had marched around them for 7 days. Verse 31. This is the one I've been waiting. This is the one I want to preach it like I'm feeling it today. Verse 31. By faith, the prostitute, Rahab. Oh, y'all know we're going. Y'all know, just go ahead and drop in the chat. It's about to get good. Verse 31. By faith, the prostitute Rahab, because she welcomed the spies, was not killed with those that were disobedient. All these people, patriarchs of faith, even a prostitute. What? Yeah, even a prostitute is named among those of great faith. While we yet judging folk. Okay, but I'm going to get into it. Let's deal with Abraham. Abraham's faith was great enough to know God was able to raise the dead. Watch this. And that God was able to keep his promises. This is where we mess up. Is your faith strong enough that when God tell you to do something, watch this, that contradict what you think? Is your faith strong enough to still believe that God is God? He knows what's best? Or you going to help him out? Because y'all know we'll help God out in a minute now. Are you going to help him out? Or are you going to do what he's telling you to do? Because remember, God already told Abraham through Isaac, Your name gonna be great. Your kids gonna be like the sand, the grains of sand on the beach. Yo, Abraham, your kids through Isaac, it's gonna be like the stars in the sky. But now you telling me to go kill him? Well, I do know you to be a God. Well, watch this. I do know you to be a God that can raise the dead. What? You know how these people had great faith? Because they knew who God was. They knew his ability. They knew who they trust in. They know who God is and what he can do. Our problem is, do you know who God is? Do you really believe? Okay, here we go. Do you really believe that God can and God will? Or do you think that's just Bible stuff? That's just the stuff Dr. Three be talking about, honey. Do you really believe? Abraham believed God so much. Watch this. That though you gave me this son, and you told me that this would be my lineage. You told me that. But you know what? If you want him back, I know you can raise somebody from the dead. So I ain't even shaking. And telling his son, come on, you get the wood. Come on, you get. And the son asking the whole time, who we sacrificing? Where's the animal that we gonna sacrifice? And you knowing, the daddy knowing, son, it's you. You are the sacrifice. Oh, Jesus. You are the sacrifice. And as much as I love you, I love God more. Watch this. As much as I love you, I love God more. And God keeps his promises. He's a God. He cannot lie. So he said that through you will be my lineage. So I don't know what he's doing. I'm not trying to figure it out. I'm just going to be obedient. Okay. I hope y'all catching that. Watch this. It says, by faith, Abraham, when he was tested, he offered up Isaac. Watch this. The verb tense for offered up indicates that as far as Abraham was concerned, the sacrifice was already done. Offered. Down here with ED on the end. That means past tense. It already happened. Who can the teacher teach this morning? When I put ED on the end of a word, that means it already happened past tense. If it was present, I would have put an S. He offers. If it was going to be in the future, yeah, let the teacher teach right now. If it was going to be in the future, I would put Abraham will offer. The Bible says he offered. It was already done. Oh, God. Listen, it says by faith, we're tested. I'm reading the Bible. Offered up Isaac. Watch this. And he who had received the promises offered up his only begotten son, of whom it is said, in Isaac your seed shall be called. Huh? Watch this. In his will and in his purpose, he really did sacrifice his son. As far as Abraham was concerned, God said it. It's already done. You as good as dead, son. Love you, but I love God more. Oh, love you, but I love God more. Love you, but I got to be obedient. Love you, but I got to give you up. Says in his mind and his spirit and in his will, it was already done. Who is this for? Watch this. It says, Abraham knew. How is it that Abraham could have done this? Watch this. Because Abraham already knew that God keeps his promises. He said, God can't lie. This is where we get in trouble. If all caps, if God said it, he shall surely bring it to pass. I don't care what obstacle, what mountains come in between, or come in the way, or come in the middle before the promise, until the prophecy, until the manifestation. I don't care what come in the middle. I know God said it, so it's got to happen. Ain't no it might. Well, God, maybe God forgot. God, he neither slumbers nor sleep. Watch this. It says, Abraham knew that God was able. This means that Abraham calculated God's promises worthy of my confidence. Jesus have mercy. Worthy of my confidence. Who you got your confidence in? The doctors? Your spouse, your kids, your job? That ain't where my confidence is. That is not where my confidence. I'm gonna show y'all something. That is not where my confidence. I wrote this in my notebook during my prayer session last night. Watch this. I wrote, oh Jesus, let me find my page. Oh God, I thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay. All right. I'm getting there. Listen, I wrote this. I was in prayer and I began to go so heavily into my spiritual language. When I came out, I just kept saying this over and over. Watch this. I am settled in my heart. Listen, that I belong to God. Listen, I kept saying it over. I have settled it in my heart that I belong to God. Jesus. I'll say it one more time. I said I was coming out of prayer and I kept repeating it over and over again to the point it was like I was going to just pass out. And I kept saying, I've settled in my heart, God, that I belong to you. I said, I settled in my heart, God, that I belong to you. Watch this. When your mind is like that, your faith can't be shaken. Why? When I say I settle in my heart that I belong to God. Why is that so important, doctor? Because God is a big God. Y'all do know who God is. Y'all do know He's King of Kings, Lord. Everything that's happening, He is in control and He's orchestrating it. Everything that is happening, He's allowing it. I belong to Him. So you can't tell me that I ain't going to be all right. Listen. So, same thing with Abraham. Says he knew that God was able. This means that Abraham calculated. He calculated that God's promise was worthy of confidence. His promise was worthy of me believing it. His promise was worthy of me standing on it. His promise was worthy of me giving up my son. Watch this. When Abraham was confronted with a promise and a command from God which seemed to contradict each other. Do you do? God, you told me you was going to give me this, now you telling me to give it back to you? Wait, what? God, you told me you was going to give me this son. Now you telling me that you going to kill him? Watch this. Says when Abraham was confronted with the promise and a command from God which seemed to contradict each other, he did what we all should do. What do you do when God promised you something and then He come back and He contradict the promise? What do you do? It says this, watch this. He obeyed the command and let God take care of the promise. Jesus, can you just drop this in the chat? Obey God and let Him take care of the promise. It says he obeyed the command and he let God take care of the promise. And God was more than able to do it. Obey God. My faith in Him, my confidence in Him makes me obey Him. Even when His flesh want to eat, even when His flesh want to go do some stuff, even when His flesh want to tell somebody else, my faith and my confidence in God makes me obey Him, not this flesh. Watch this. It says, let's get into Isaac. Verse 20, Isaac. By faith, Isaac blessed Jacob and Esau concerning things to come. Isaac, listen to this. Listen to this. For those of us that think, oh, we got to be perfect. Watch this. Isaac was really in the flesh, not in faith when he first intended to bless Esau instead of Jacob. He wanted to bless Esau with the birthright for carnal reasons. He liked Esau more. Listen. Instead, he should have chosen Jacob, who God chose. Uh-oh. Watch this. By faith, Isaac was blessed. Yet Isaac came to the place of faith when he discovered that, listen, y'all, this is in Genesis 27. Genesis 27. Isaac came to the place of faith when he discovered that he had actually blessed Jacob instead of Esau. Listen, Genesis 27:33 says, Isaac trembled exceedingly. Watch this. When Isaac trembled exceedingly, he was troubled because he knew that he had tried to box God in. Who doing that today? Check your faith. Watch this. Isaac got scared because he said, oh, I tried to box God in. I tried to defeat God. And that, watch this. It says, when Isaac trembled exceedingly, he was troubled because he knew that he had tried to box God in to defeat God's plan and that God would beat him. God would beat him. Can't get over on God. Watch this. He realized that he would always be defeated. Y'all, listen to this. Isaac realized he would always be defeated when he tried to resist God's will. I'm just going to do it my way. Some of us on here today, we know what God's telling us to do. I'm just going to do it my way. I'm just going to try to see if I can get over. I'm just going to try to see if I can run some game. I'm just going to try to see if I can slide in the back door. I'm just going to try to see. Well, you know God's will, but you don't want to do it that way. It says he realized that he would always be defeated when he tried to resist God's will, even when he didn't like it. And he came to learn, listen to this, that despite his arrogant attempts against the will of God, God's will was glorious. God said, it's in all through the Bible. My plans and my purpose, are they going to prevail? It ain't going to work out good for you to kick against the prick. It ain't going to work. It ain't going to work out good for you to try to come up against me. I am God. You do know that I'm in control. I'm Alpha and Omega. You do know that my will going to come to pass. Watch this. It says, by faith, the faith in Isaac's blessing came in after Isaac's attempt to thwart the will of God was destroyed. When he said of Jacob, and indeed he shall be blessed, Genesis 27:33, Isaac knew that his weak, listen to this, Isaac knew that his weak attempt to tell God what to do was defeated. You can't tell God what to do. Who do we think we ought to talk to God like that? The one that can snatch his breath out your body. Huh? Listen, it says, Isaac knew that this was a weak attempt to tell God what to do. Isaac knew that his weak attempt to tell God what to do was defeated. And he responded in faith that said, okay, God, you win. You know, we do that. When we get tired of running, when we get tired of fighting against God, when we get tired of doing it our way, when we get tired of saying, God, okay. And we just so what? Okay, God, have your way. He like, I was going to have it anyway. You done wore your whole self out. All this stuff right here that you done been going through, that was all you. You could have just accepted my will the first time. We'd have been five years down the road by now. But all this you did just held up the process. Watch this. Let's get to Jacob's faith. Verse 21. By faith, Jacob, when he was dying, blessed each of his sons of Joseph, and worshiped leaning on the top of his staff. Watch this. Listen. By faith, Jacob, when he was dying, blessed each of his sons. Jacob led a rather carnal life. He lived according to what he wanted to do, his flesh, with his emotions. That's how he was living. Yet his faith could also look beyond death. His faith said, I got to take care of them boys. I got to bless them boys. His faith was looking down the road. I don't live the jacked up life. But this is the least I can do for them. Watch this. It says, and he worshiped leaning on top of his staff. Jacob had to lean. Listen to this. Jacob had to lean on the top of his staff because remember that limp he was given when he wrestled with the Lord. Y'all remember when Jacob wrestled with the Lord and he ended up with that limp. That limp. He was given a limp many years before when God confronted him in Genesis 32. As he leaned on his staff, he remembered God brought it all back. Don't you forget I'm God. Don't you forget I'm God. Watch this. It says, and he leaned on his staff. He remembered that God was great and held his future and the future of his descendants. Therefore, he decided to worship, demonstrating his faith and his dependence on God. He couldn't forget. Wait a minute, I know I'm about to die. I'm old, but I got these kids. He had to get right. He had to pull on the faith that he knew. Listen to this. Don't want to talk about Joseph. Lord. How much time I got? Okay, I'm gonna try to get through it. Okay. Okay, let's see. Moses. Let's get to Moses. Verse 24 through 26. The faith of Moses in Pharaoh's court. Moses refused to be called the son of Pharaoh's daughter. Y'all, we all know the story. He refused to be called the son of Pharaoh's daughter. Moses showed faith. Watch this. When he let God chart his destiny. I could eat the best, live the best. If I sell my soul, I could eat the best, live the best, dress the best, be over everybody, have a nice title, do what I want to do, be known all over the world if I just sell my soul. But Moses said, it's something about this God. Oh, watch this. Then I'm going to let him chart my life. I'm going to let him chart my life. What profit a man to gain the whole world and lose his soul? That was Moses. I could have all this. Pharaoh? I could have all this. I got the best of everything. But I'm going to give it up. What profit a man to gain the whole world and lose his soul? Who am I talking to this morning? What does it profit you to live any kind of old way? Because the thing that's getting me with people today is we think we got time. We think we got so much time. I remember when I was growing up, it was like strange to hear a young person die, a young person dying. You would be like, oh my God, somebody. I remember growing up, only old people, not being funny, but I only remember like old people dying. I don't remember my friends dying. I don't remember people my age when I was younger dying. Now you turn on the news, you're going to get at least 5, 6 every day. Go to social media every day. Go fund me. Help this person. This person died. This person just didn't even wake up. This person right here, we don't even know what happened to them. They disappeared. We found them over here. Listen. Because the thing that get me is people think they have time. So what they do is they live their life like they got all this time. When you don't know, you can walk out the door, going to work and have a wreck, and that's it. You could lay down and just not wake up. You can have all the money in the world, get sick real good. Watch what happened to your bank account. Because insurance don't cover everything. I took care of my daddy with cancer. Wiped out my savings. Listen. So people walk around like they have so much time. Oh, I'm just going to do this right here. Then I'm going to get right with God. Oh, I'm just going to do this right here. Well, you know, I'm trying. Well, why don't you put all that energy into serving God like you put it into serving your flesh? Who are you, great mountain, that you cannot bow low? What if the mountain is you? Okay, I said something right there. What if you are your biggest problem? It ain't all the issues in the world. It ain't all the other people in the world. It's you. Because you want to be great. I want them to know who I am, and I want to have this, and I want to live there, and I want to do this. But God is calling you to something greater, but you don't want to do that. Because that ain't cool. Everybody ain't doing that. I mean, I can't go hang out with my girls. I can't go hang out with my boys. I can't do nothing but go to church. But it used to be a time when people loved church. I think me and Deacon Allison, me and Miss Allison were just talking about this. And we were talking about, do you remember like on Sundays, you would go to one service, then you go to another service. And that's what we did on Sunday. We still got up and went to work Monday. Your kids still went to school. Wasn't no such thing as they heard them get through service because the kids got school in the morning. Where they do that at? I remember when I went to, especially the Holiness Church. Listen, we would have church that morning because I was under Bishop L.B. Garris. And we would have church, and one thing about him, he was a major. I've never seen to this day people flow in the prophetic like this man. He was 80-something years old. When he came out the office, he didn't come out till God had given him a word. When he came out, everybody was slain in the spirit. He would be saying, Liv, help me. Because they be done fell out all around him because the anointing would be that heavy. We would be in that service, and listen, whenever his service was over, whenever, because it was never like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. Oh, it was whenever the spirit was done moving. And we didn't want to leave. We would leave that service 9 times out of 10. He got to go preach somewhere else. Oh, and guess what? The whole church was expected to go, and we all went. What no such thing as I already got plans. Who got plans? What no such thing as that? But nowadays, rush. Let's hurry up. Let's get over it. Why we got to have 2 services? Why we got to have 2 services on Sunday? Why I got to have service on Friday night? Why I got to go to service 3 times? Everybody in a hurry. Listen, it says, let me close this out because I'm going to run over my time. Let me close this out. So by faith, we talked about Moses. Let's get to this verse 30. Watch this. Verse 30. The faith of the nation of Israel was when circling around Jericho. Watch this. By faith, the walls of Jericho fell down after they were circled for 7 days. Remember the lady with the issue of blood? I'm going to do something crazy. I ain't going to wait for him to stop and lay hands on me. When he get near and I can see him, I'm just going to reach out and touch his garment. Walk around the wall 7 times. Sounded crazy till them walls fell. Her touching the end of Jesus' garment sounded crazy till she got healed. Ooh. Having service on Friday night sound crazy till you start hearing about the miracle signs and wonders. Crazy faith. That's y'all supposed to be tagging that seed. Crazy faith. Watch this what it says. It says, at Jericho, the people of Israel had daring faith. There was no turning back. Listen, there was no turning back. Having already crossed the river Jordan at flood stage, which cut off any line of retreat. They couldn't go back. Watch this. After they encircled for 7 days, at Jericho, the people of Israel had obedient faith. Listen to the types of faith that they had. At Jericho, they had obedient faith. They did not really understand what God was doing, yet they obeyed him. You ain't got to understand. You don't have to understand it. Just obey. Can y'all drop this in the chat? Obedient faith. Watch this. After they encircled the 7 days, at Jericho, the people of Israel had, watch this, patient faith. Patient faith. The walls didn't come down for the first 6 days. I'm just going to sow this one time. If it don't happen that way, you know, if it don't happen this time, it ain't never going to happen. Huh, okay. I'm just going to believe God today. And if it don't happen by 6 o'clock, it ain't going to happen. I keep telling y'all, he the slowest on time God. And that's what I love about it. I be believing God for certain things. And I said, you know what, God? I know it's going to come in your time. So I ain't going to try to rush you. I had to learn that. I'm not going to rush you, God. I'm going to let it come in your time. I ain't gonna beg you. I ain't gonna keep bringing it up. I ain't gonna run behind it. I ain't gonna chase it. It's gonna come in your time. And it comes every single time. Right on time. Watch this. It says they had patient faith. Drop that in the chat. Patient faith. The walls did not come down for the first 6 days. Yet they kept marching as God commanded them. They stayed obedient. Watch this. At Jericho, the people of Israel had, watch this, anticipating faith. That's what I always tell people. When you come to my service, can you come expecting? Can you come expecting God that pulls on the prophetic? Can you come expecting God to show up? Can you come expecting fire? It says, watch this. At Jericho, the people of Israel had an anticipating faith. Watch this. They knew God would act on the 7th day when they shouted. Listen, we know on the 7th day, he gonna shout, he gonna come. We don't know when, we don't know where, we don't know how, we don't know how it's gonna look, but we know he coming. We'll do something one time. We'll fast, watch this. We'll fast for 30 days and be like, okay, it ain't happening. I ain't fasting no more, I'm done. I ain't never fasting again. Really? Really now? That's how quick we are to give up on God, but you'll give a man, you'll give a man and a woman, they can cheat on you 15 times. Okay, well, this time it's going to work. God don't come through when you want him to the first time. You're done with him and the church. This is reality. But we'll give a person 15 times to break our heart, but we say, okay, yeah, you know what, I'm done. God don't come through when we want him to one time and we done with him. I'm done with him and the church. That's what I'm talking about. Them church folk. So you met at the church, what God do to you? Huh? Watch this. Last one. I got to get to this one because I got to get off here. Oh my God. This is going to bless y'all right here. The faith of Rahab, the prostitute. Y'all know I was waiting on this one. I was waiting on this one. I say the best for last. Rahab, the prostitute. We think, watch, here we go. We think because a person has a messed up life, they don't have faith. We think that because the person has a messed up life, God can't use them. God used the donkey. Y'all do know that, right? So stop judging people. This is why, watch this. And I'm not bragging or I'm not boasting. But watch this. This is why I have all types of people that follow my ministry, sow into my ministry, encourage me. All types of people from all walks of life, all backgrounds. You know why? Because I don't judge them. Rahab, the prostitute. So you got Rahab mentioned right there with Moses. You got Rahab mentioned in the same passage with Abraham. You got, and watch this. And it tells her story. Let you know how great her faith was. It tells her story. Y'all know some people how they mention them in the Bible and just say their name and you can keep going. Sometimes it don't even say their name. It say there was a woman with the issue. Don't even mention their name. It says Rahab. I'm going to read it. Verse 31, we're in Hebrews 11. Watch this. By faith, the harlot, that's a prostitute, Rahab, did not perish with those who did not believe. When she had received the spies with peace. Watch this. Listen to this. Joshua 2 tells the story of Rahab, who might have seemed an unusual example of faith to us. Watch this. Yet her willingness to become a traitor to the gods of Canaan and to identify with God Yahweh, with his people, despite the cost, is worthy of praise. She gave up on the God of her people for our God. Wait, watch this. It says, listen, she was a harlot, a woman that was a sinner and universally known. Everybody knew about her. Everybody knew. Go down to Rahab's house. Rahab got it going on. Everybody knew that Rahab was a bad girl. It says she was a harlot, a woman that was a sinner and universally known to be such. Ooh, Rahab had it going on and everybody knew about her. She's mentioned in the Bible. Watch who you put your mouth on. Listen, it says, when she had received the spies with peace, when the Hebrew spies came to Rahab, she declared, he is God in heaven above and on earth beneath. That's Joshua 2 and 11. This was proof of her faith. I know about y'all, God. Yeah, I live here. I'm a sinner. I live among these people. We worship all kind of God. But I know about y'all, God. And because I know about y'all, God, hide here. They'll never think y'all in my house. I'm a prostitute. God, I love you. Watch this. It says, this was proof of her faith. It was not strong faith. And it was not perfect. Listen to this. It was not strong faith. And it was not perfect faith. But her faith was commendable nonetheless. Wasn't perfect. Ooh. Do y'all hear this? Her faith was not perfect. God help me this morning. It says, watch this. Rahab, let's listen to when it's, and I'm going to close with this because I got to get off here. Listen to the type of faith it says Rahab had. Rahab had saving faith. Rahab had stable faith. Rahab had self-denying faith. Rahab had sympathizing faith. Rahab had sanctifying faith. We want to overlook people like Rahab. Oh, they gay. Oh, they look like this. They don't dress like me. They did it. Rahab. Don't despise people because you don't know where they faith at. Where's my thing is this. Does a harlot, Jesus help me, like Rahab have more faith than the people that's standing up in the church with them titles? Does a harlot like Rahab have more faith than that intercessor? Does a harlot like Rahab have more faith than the preacher? Does a harlot like Rahab have more faith than the prophet? Help me, somebody. But we want to judge. Says, God makes the final judgment. Where will your faith be? When he look at your faith, what he gonna say? Watch this. Will you have the faith like Rahab? Saving faith, stable faith, self-denying faith, sympathizing faith, sanctifying faith. Will you have that? If you notice all these people I'm mentioning in the Bible, we even talked about somebody had delayed faith. Yesterday, we talked about that delayed faith. They were slow in their belief. But nonetheless, they had faith and it got them to where they needed to be. What God is saying is, I don't care what it looked like. I don't care what it sounded like. Be obedient and have faith. Says, watch this. The people of Jericho, they had obedient faith, patient faith, anticipating faith. My God, today, anticipating faith. Where's your faith at? I'm getting off here because I got to get to work. Listen, where's your faith at? My God, my prayer is that God will increase your faith this week while we're fasting and consecrating, to believe him like never before, to grab a hold to faith, that he will endow you with the gift of faith. Where you believe him with everything you got, with nothing, you have unshakable faith. Oh God, I decree and I declare that you would have unshakable faith. Oh God, can y'all just drop that in the chat? And I'm getting off here. Unshakable faith, unshakable faith, unshakable faith, unshakable faith. Listen, I love you. I got to get off here, but I will be back here in the morning, 5:30 a.m., decreeing and declaring what the Lord is going to say to us about faith. Once again, listen, make plans, make plans, make plans, make plans, make plans to be in the house Friday. I cannot stress enough how important that encounter with God would be. Listen, if you want to sow, I'm putting it up. Let me find it. If you want to sow, you're going to tag that seed, crazy faith, crazy faith, crazy faith. Put your seed in the ground. You're sowing into fruit. You're sowing into miracle soil. You're sowing into a kingdom assignment. We're doing a kingdom work over here. Listen, I also want to remind you all to make sure that you go on my Facebook page and register for the fellowship that we're having the 23rd of this month. It's going to allow me to share the ministry with you, where we at, where we been, and where we going. And it'll give people opportunity to join. It'll give people opportunity to get in on fellowship. That means you be like on my first to know with everything going on with Dr. Reese. So a lot of the dates that you see that I post on my page is sold out, but then I do other things too. So just come to the meeting. You'll find out about all that. It's free, but I need you to register because I'm going to feed you real good. I want it to be a fellowship. I want you to just come ready to eat and ready to talk. Okay, that's all we're going to do. Talking fellowship. Talking, y'all get to know me. I get to know y'all. All that good stuff. Listen, I love you. I love you. I love you. I want you to have a good day on purpose. I need you to walk in faith. I need you to talk in faith. Listen, I love you. God bless you and have a good day on purpose.